No falling. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sherry. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about all kinds of true stories. And if you're a returning subscriber, hello my darling, how are you doing? So today, y'all, I want to talk about for the very first time a story I have never ever covered in regards to a true fur baby story. And if that's your kind of thing, stick around because I have a lot to share. For those of you that may be sensitive to animals gone wild, we'll say, for lack of a better term, this story is in regards to two dogs. Mia, the girl, and Chuck, the boy, were a part of this family. Are a beautiful couple, loving couple from Memphis, Tennessee. They have, like so many other people, fur babies in their home. Come here, jump up. Just like my fur baby right here. This one's mine. You see, hi. Hi. And with our fur babies, we build a connection. And so Colby and Kirsty had a connection with two beautiful pit bull dogs. Now, I know that there's a lot of stigma around this particular breed of dog. And I understand Kirsty and Colby had these two beautiful dogs that they had for years, like 8 years in the family. They ended up buying a house and had a beautiful backyard for their animals, and they had a daughter, a little girl who was 2 years old at the time of the incident that happened, and we'll get there, just give me a minute. Children's names were Lily Jane, who was 2 years old, and Hollis Dean, 5 months old. Very cute names, very pretty. The family owned these pets for over 8 years, so this wasn't anything new, and they had known the children for 2.5 years in their entirety. The attack was pretty brutal. What transpired that led up to something like this is not known at this time. October 5th at 3:30 p.m., Kirsty went out of the room, leaving her two children with her beautiful two pit bulls. Kirsty went in the other room to prepare dinner that was soon around the corner at their family home in the 700 block of Sylvan Road near Shelby Forest State Park in Tennessee. So let's start from the beginning. Kirsty, Bennard, and Colby. So there's a little bit of history that y'all need to know about Mia and Chuck. So this is in regards to the breed and the sale of that breed. A person named Jason Perry was a breeder for pit bulls, and on Jason Perry's 2013 thread advertising these puppy breeds of the RGB, so that's the Royal Blue Generation, and the Royal Blue Generation's Lion King dog. On the 2013 thread of the advertising of these pups, the RGB, aka Chuck's bloodline, okay, he speaks directly to Colby Bernard. Basically is saying that these dogs are vicious, and that particular bloodline has actually attacked other pet owners, and it's been fatal in the past. These particular dogs were known as like the next generation bully dogs of their time when they were being bred and sold back in 2013, 2014, when Colby and Kirsty were looking to acquire some family animal pets, right? Like many people do. We go online, we research, we see what's in our areas, and we maybe go and visit, and we check out what's around, and if we find something we like, we adopt, and you go from there, kind of thing, right? So I mean, there is a little bit more of a process when you're talking about specifically bred dogs. However, if the dog is known to have a vicious bloodline in the past, it would be a known issue that you wouldn't necessarily want to incorporate a vulnerable person with that animal around, because of the risk that it might, again, because of that bloodline, go that route and attack. That's unfortunate to see and to realize, is that Harry did say, like, you know, these two dogs are pretty vicious and they will kill you. Harry does tell Colby that there are 4 girls in the litter, one of which was named Mia. 8 years later, it was Mia, along with the male dog Chuck, that attacked the 2 children. However, this was before that they even had children, and that they were told this, right? So I'm imagining that in their mind, they're thinking, okay, well, let's get them when they're young and love them and treat them really well and bring them up, and then introduce a child and see how that goes. Which, who can blame them for thinking like that, right? It sounds very logical, in my opinion. You would train a new animal and, you know, introduce your child later, you know, but it sounds like they were following the proper steps in the introduction and stuff. It's just really unfortunate that it was known that the dogs had potential tendency to attack, you know, humans or vulnerable people. Royal Blue Generation dog was known to have that type of a bloodline. I understand, though, that Colby and Kirsty did own these dogs for 6 years prior to introducing their first child, Lily Jane, to those animals, Chuck and Mia. And there was no issues for 2 years with Chuck and Mia. So there's also a comment from Colby on a post that he had made stating that he had some surveillance cameras. So I would be curious to see if there were any signs of something going awry in those moments right before the attack. And I mean, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to say that they did this on purpose, or they, you know, they knew what they were doing and stuff like that. It sounds like they gave it a substantial amount of time. However, it's just because that detail is in the bloodline, that's a risk that the animal might go that route again because it's in the previous bloodline. So there's a little bit of that in that particular animal that's been bred through that bloodline. The reason that I actually know a little bit about this is I did work for a pet health insurance company, and you know, after doing a little bit of digging here and stuff, I can see that there were some signs in the very beginning of them adopting Chuck and Mia that there was this knowledge that they could potentially, because it's in the bloodline, go the vicious route. Kirsty didn't do anything wrong, for goodness sakes. And when you look at the long-term relationship that the family had with these 2 animals, there was absolutely no signs that they were going to be vicious or become aggressive in any way. And they had been a part of the family for years. And so naturally, when the children were born, they came home introducing children to the animals and, you know, allowing them to meet, and there was no issues. I mean, their 2-year-old little girl used to sit around and play with these dogs, and, you know, there was never an issue, ever, and no sign that there was ever going to be an issue. Well, sadly, Kirsty went into the other room and left the 2 kids in the living room when suddenly she could hear bloody screams and growls and commotion coming from the room that she had just left her 2 children in with the animals. And she came back to find that these two animals were just literally going crazy, and they were literally on top of the children and viciously impacting wounds. And Kirsty jumped into action and tried to rip the animals off, and she tried covering her 2-year-old girl, and it was just crazy the amount of damage that these two animals did to not only the children but also to Kirsty, who was desperately trying to save the children. It's craziness. Unfortunately, the children did not survive. It was found in critical condition by the fire paramedics. It breaks my heart to know that Kirsty, fought so hard to try to stop those animals, that she suffered such serious wounds herself. It is literally being known and being talked about all over on the online and stuff, that Kirsty is a hero for jumping in to try to stop this craziness that was happening with these two pets that had been a part of their life and their family for years. For 10 minutes she fought against those animals to try to save those children, and unfortunately she lost the battle. But thankfully she's still alive, and as sad of an ending as that is for those two babies, I believe that they'll heal and they'll go on to make a new family together, probably without animals. I don't know for sure what their thoughts are on that, or if they will try to introduce another animal in the future or not. There is a fundraiser for the family. If you're interested in donating to that, I'll post the link in the description below. You know, this is my passion, right? That I love true stories. So when I saw that this story, I just had to cover it. I need to heal in hospital with an uncountable amount of stitches and bite marks over her entire body, including her face. Both her arms and legs are completely bandaged and wrapped up like in their entirety. So basically like a mummy status. It looks as though there's no permanent damage right now, other than the wounds of their hearts, literally. A speedy recovery that heals fast for her. She looks like she's a healthy woman, so the chances of that happening are good. Share this heroic story in hopes that some of y'all would put Kirsty and Colby in your prayers, and maybe you have the means to do some donations. So it's my pleasure to offer the platform in order to share these kinds of true stories to help other people. Thank you in advance to anybody who's going to do that. I personally am somebody who has owned a pit bull in the past, and they are not necessarily vicious animals. I mean, in my opinion, you can make any animal vicious by mistreating it. It doesn't matter what animal that is. It could be a ferret or a bird or a cat or a dog, but it doesn't matter what it is. If you're going to mistreat it, it will become a vicious type of animal. What an unfortunate, crazy situation. Shocking one to see a mother fight so hard against her own family pets for her own offspring children. Unbelievable. On a side note, for those of you who have been paying attention to the description box, the descriptions that I've been uploading for the month of October, you may notice some differences that I've added in some links. So if you're interested in, you can check out those various links and see if anything you like. Christmas is around the corner, so it's never too early to start buying those Christmas gifts and putting them away. That being said, I do also want to let y'all know about the online thrift store that I have going on. So if you're interested in designer brands at a discounted price, please check out the link in the description below. A wonderful Amazon program. So if you do end up making a purchase through those links, that does help support the channel in a small way. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments section below to know what you think. Have you heard any other stories like this ever before? Because for me, I have never heard one of these, and I've never covered an animal story true crime, and really that's what this is. So my heart goes out to the family, and yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and help my YouTube algorithms push out my videos. If you are interested in more true stories, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I will be here at least twice a month, but could be more. So stay tuned, and thanks again for watching True Stories with me, Sherry Weens. Bye for now.